there's going to come a point in time in the next 5-10 years, there's going to be a shortage of tradies, right? The price is going to go through the roof, and they're going to make more money than they could ever fucking imagine.
Get a labour-only contracts if you can, or work for people, and then go and do $2,000 maintenance jobs.
Yeah, that was it.
And just learn.
Some of the jobs were literally like $100, $50. Like, it was nothing. A builder and developer, they sell a product. They sell a house. They sell, that's like, but with us, our product is our culture, our guys, ourselves. I am Corey Tomkims. I'm the owner of Ideal Group Australia. We're a construction company based here in Brisbane and primarily do contracting work for tier 2, tier 3 builders in the multi-res educational space, light commercial. That's sort of what we primarily do, and that's the business that I run. Obviously, on the side, we do a podcast as well, and we double down on socials and that.
One clip, and I'm loving talking about it at the moment, is artificial intelligence. Are you guys putting any of that in your business at the moment? No shit, because I'm like, I know within the trade industry, quantity surveying will be the first one to go. Yeah. So I'm looking at it heavily. There's
a topic that we've touched on, like on a lot of our shit before as well. I think for construction anyway, there's two sides to it. Yeah. One side, as you said, quantity surveying, estimating, all that sort of stuff will eventually, I don't think it will 100% go because there's always variables.
Absolutely.
But probably 80% of it will eventually go.
Absolutely.
But the other side of it, the actual physical aspect, I don't think we'll ever catch up, not in our lifetime anyway.
No way.
Where we probably use it the most is doing what me and Nick sort of do in regards to socials and that sort of stuff. Like we use, obviously ChatGPT.
Yeah, bro. Nice.
You know what I mean? Like that, but that's just how the fuck it, and how I sort of word it to Nick and other guys that want to dabble in it as well. It's not that it's replacing a job or a task. It's merely just like a backboard. And
it's kind of, I think, unless you either understand how to use it or how to teach people how to use it, it's kind of just giving less jobs within the industry. Yeah. Because instead of 5 people cutting up clips, you only takes one person to.
Well, that's it. It's inevitable. You know what I mean? It's like with anything.
Yeah, for sure.
You either go with it or
get left behind, man.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Dude, give us a little bit of a rundown, just obviously like what you did when you first left school to sort of where you are now, what age you first started, etc.
Yeah, man. So I basically, I left school when I was nearly 17. Originally started out as a labourer,
nice.
And backstory. So my old man was a builder. His old man was a builder. Definitely really good tradesmen, but weren't that good as businessmen. And so left school then, and then I basically laboured for about 18 months. My old man pulled me aside and said, "What do you actually want to fucking do?"
Did he see you were a good labourer or you're a pretty shit labourer?
Oh, to be honest, I was in it for the money, like just how most guys were. I was in it for the money, and then
for sure.
I had a few guys around me, and they, that I was labouring with, and they just, they were all qualified, and they just said, like, what do you want to do? And then my old man was like, listen, the sooner you get it done, the better it will be. You don't have a girlfriend, you got no kids or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I just sort of bit the bullet, and I'd be lying if I didn't touch on the other thing, but I did apply to go to university. I was absolutely stupid in school. I got like an OP like 23. I think the worst one was like 25. And I ended up applying for like counter-terrorism or something, and never fucking got it. But anyway, so that, if I was smart.
How did you have a counter-terrorism interest? Did that come from a Netflix show?
I was doing what most kids do when they leave school, you know what I mean? A lot of the guys are going to uni, you're just looking for something to do, you just want to get in there. That was literally me. And fucking applied. Didn't get it, obviously. And I probably wouldn't have seen it through like most fucking people that do journalism and all that sort of shit. But anyway, so did that, and man, I basically started my apprenticeship, and it was a slog, dude. It was a slog for about 3-4 years. It was just
it's hard work,
face down, ass up. So we just literally I busted my ass, and
did you enjoy it? Like, you learn a lot of at the time. I felt like I hated mine, but I kind of knew.
To be honest, it was like, so I was the only apprentice. My old man, everyone loves to say, you get it easier when you work with for your parent. You don't. I actually got the fucking stick end of the deal. And, you know, he had 16 guys working for him at the time. They were all qualified. I was the only apprentice, boss's son.
Yeah.
He was not on the tools.
Yeah.
And, I just got sent with the guys. So, you know, it wasn't a pretty episode. I didn't get anything handed to me. If everyone wants to really know the finer details, and they can ask my wife, because I met her at the back end of it, I was earning the same money per week that I was getting as a first year on my final year. So nothing fucking changed. Everyone was like, oh, my pay goes up. Mine did not. And the only thing that happened is I just worked more.
Overwhelmed by pricing jobs well into the night? Feeling clients' pressure waiting on you to deliver estimates? Are you enjoying any kind of life outside of work? RapidQS wants to help you nail wins consistently, building momentum within the amount of jobs in your pipeline. Gain today by getting accurate pricing, receiving client confidence, and especially getting onto the job. RapidQS is your go-to for pre-construction estimates. We guarantee a quick turnaround within 24 hours with a proposal, making it super easy to work with us. Just send a pack of information via email, include plans if you have them, or just a scope, any images, and of course labour rates, whether it's labour only or a full takeoff. And you know what? We'll do the rest. Gain momentum today with RapidQS. Get in touch now and start enjoying your life outside of work.
You know, if you want to talk about stories of points in time, like there was literally, it's a funny one that I say to all the apprentices that I get. And then, I just say to them, I got absolutely reamed. I would say like slightly publicly humiliated. In front of because every month we'd hold like a team meeting, and didn't have a car, had a license, but I didn't have a car. And I was in the ute with my old man driving there, and I just had enough of this one guy. Rob, he listens to our podcast. But anyway, so
shout out Rob.
I had enough of just like working with him, and it was just it was doing my head in. And I just remember saying to him like, he's like, oh, what's been going on? I said, oh, I don't like working with Rob. I don't like working with him. And I just remember him not really saying a lot, just driving. And he's like, oh, okay. Got to the meeting in front of everyone. He called me out and he just goes, oh, Corey said that he doesn't like working with you anymore, Rob. So, he's going to see out the next month with you, and then he'll move on. And I still remember me just being like, fuck. Oh, yeah. I was just like, I can't believe you said that. And I got back in the ute. I was dead silent. He knew why I was angry too, but smart ass him just turned around and he's like, oh, what's the matter? And I was just like, I can't believe you did that. You know what I mean? Like, you already knew. Like, I'm just going to get it even more now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he just literally, I remember him like pulling over, and he just turned to me and he was like, listen, if you can't handle this, like you'll never handle the trade. Like you may as well just jump out now. Go and get a job at Harvey Norman or something, and do something else.
Fuck, mean way to get a thick skin, and especially from your old man.
And I still remember like that was probably the best conversation still to this day that I've ever had, just because it was like, it basically just, it was the little voice that I needed constantly, like throughout those whole 4 years when the times got tough. It was always like, no one's forcing me to be here. I'm here on my own merit. Like, he didn't give a fuck. Like, he was like, he literally said to me right then and then, like, go. Doesn't bother me. Yeah. Go. And then, obviously not what everyone wants to hear, because everyone wants their parents to be like, oh, stay determined. But it was basically his way of basically just saying to me, listen, no one's going to no one's going to hold your hand. So, dude, that was it. So that was just my fucking fire throughout my whole 4 years. And
nice.
I didn't get to finish early. There was no special treatment. If everyone wants to know what I got a bunch of tools at the end. They were all old ass tools, and that was it.
What was your transition from finishing up there to, did you go straight into starting Ideal Group? How did it work?
No. So basically I stayed on with him for about 6 months. And then
you weren't working with Rob anymore, were you?
No. All those boys come and gone. I think at that point there was only like 3 of us, including myself. I was qualified. I was working with all of them anyway. I was getting paid like an apprentice in my 4th year, but I was already still like doing everything that the other fucking boys were doing anyway. So, but anyway, the only thing that really fucking changed, I got a little bit more money. Definitely not what they were getting, but I was getting a little bit more money. And so by then I already had my ute. Trailer. Nice. I had people that I was doing cash work for on the weekends and that out in my own time. And then, I just sort of stayed with him for 6 months, got my ABN, still ABN with him. And then I was doing, it was a transition of like 5 days I was with him, 4 days I was with him, and then it was just a transition out onto my own. So, and it got to the point where, you know, his work it would just sort of happen naturally. He was sort of backing off the tools and like closing things up, and then I was already starting to pick up most. Like I was earning, you know, 2 or 3 times more on like the 3-4 days that I wasn't there than I was there.
Yeah,
so
sweet.
But I did the right thing, stayed with him, and then
give you a return of service, if you want to call it. Yeah. I'm sure, like, obviously scaring through your Instagram, a lot of your stuff is tailored towards probably talking to apprentices and stuff. We get a shitload of questions on probably more the business side of things, like money, quoting, marketing, sales.
Yeah, and that's a passion of mine as well. It's just obviously I've found that I resonate like on my socials anyway. I sort of resonate a lot more with the younger community and the construction guys.
What was like, did you always see yourself as like more business savvy than on the tools, or were you always sort of yourself as, I'm a fucking wicked builder, I suck at business?
I don't know, dude. It was one of those things. So I'm not going to like sit here and be like, I was mad on the tools. I feel like I was pretty good at what I did. I had a lot of contacts and a lot of people that liked me for me and wanted me. And
it's
I went
crazy.
Through the whole...
You build relationships with these clients. Yeah. And then when they're like, oh, I'm going to hand you over to Joe, my builder now, they're kind of like, nah, we want you here.
Yeah, and that was the thing that I had to go through, you know what I mean?
It's tough,
that definitely doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the start, you know, I was good at what I did. But I always found that I was definitely more business savvy than I was. Well, I'd like to think I was anyway. I'm still learning now, but yeah, I definitely thought I was more business savvy than I was fucking on the tool savvy. So.
Did you ever do any like side hustles during school or during your apprenticeship? Like, did you ever look at other?
No, other than work.
Yeah.
Other than just being with the old man or my brother. Like my brother's also, he's a construction manager for, he used to run his own show as well in Brizzy. So our whole like childhood life, we were in and out of renos and living in fucking with drywall dust everywhere. Like it was that was our life. So I always swore to my wife now that I'd never fucking live in a renovation again. That was literally my whole life.
It's like a builder's thing. It's always an unfinished house, bro.
Yeah, unfinished.
So like when you first started doing your own thing, like what was the first couple of years like? How'd you get your first kind of jobs? And
so as I said, I can basically I can make this very easy for a lot of guys that are listening. Basically, it was, as I said, I was during my apprenticeship. I basically just, there was no there was Facebook, but there was no big community pages or anything. Gumtree was fabulous. So I used to jump on there and I used to just have a look around and, you know, little Joanne wanted this and Barry wanted this. And I was landscaping and fencing and fucking changing fly screens, and literally I was doing that like every second or third weekend throughout my apprenticeship. And
I say the same thing to people, bros. I'll let you go, but I'm like, get a labor-only contracts if you can, or work for people, and then go and do $2,000 maintenance jobs.
Yeah, that was it.
And just learn.
Some of the jobs were literally like $100, $50. Like it was nothing. Like back then though, like don't forget, I was only earning like $50 a day. If I go on a Saturday and I get $250, fuck, I'm laughing, dude.
Yeah, man.
So anyway, that's sort of how it started. And then obviously, you know, from then, those jobs didn't just turn into like a fly screen. They turned into a deck. They turned into Joanne telling fucking Gracie about me. And then, so by the time I was in my third, fourth, you know, qualified, I'd already had like 15, 20 contacts on my phone that wanted shit done. So, you know, that's sort of how I built it. And I went from replying to people's ads on Gumtree to then having enough money saved up where I would post my own ad. And then, you know, as I said, there was no marketplace or Facebook groups back then. So that was the one go-to. And I used to go down the page of high pages, but I jumped off that. So, but then, dude, by the time I was like first, second, third year being qualified and I had my own tools and stuff like that, it was a very easy transition to be, you know, off the tools. And, you know, I didn't have kids. I didn't have a mortgage. I was still living at home. So I had the benefit of like, you know, if I had slow weeks, it would stress me the fuck out. And I'd probably just jump in the contacts and go on hourly rate with someone.
But you had no overheads.
I had no overheads. So it was like, it was very easy. And then, over time, you know what I mean? As soon as I got qualified too, I was doing night school. I did my diploma of building construction as well through Master Builders. So I did 10 months, 5 till 9.
Why did you want to go and do that? Like obviously if you were making money and you had jobs coming in, what was your...
Basically,
Just
I just always knew that if I didn't do it now, I'd never do it. That goes back to my old man. He would always say, like, listen, if you're in the mindset of studying, stay in that mindset. Don't get out of it, because once you get out of it, you won't get back into it.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Dude, I basically just, once I finished my Cert 3, it was literally once I got my certificate Cert 3, I'd already worked out where I was going, how long, when it was happening, the enrollment, everything. I just pulled the trigger on it, and I had CSQ funding, so I just literally went for it. And then so I'd make sure that I'd finish work at 4 o'clock, and then get home in time to grab my shit or wherever I was working. I'd just make it happen. And then, as I said, I had no overheads, I had no staff, there was no one. It was just myself. So. And I just had a fucking drive to do it.
Yeah, like it's a lot easier when you have no responsibilities. And obviously now it's different. Now you've got people to look after.
But you can always find an excuse. Like, this is going back to, like, because I got a lot of guys, like a lot of employees and that now. And then, like, I got guys that are single that live at home that, you'll always find a reason or an excuse. Like, I say now that it was easier. But if I was in the position that I was in then that I am in now with my kids and the business and that. But if I really wanted it like I did back then, I'd probably still make it happen. Like, I don't feel like it's got really anything. I feel like it's always easy if you actually want to do it. And 100%. Like, that was always me, is I just knew I wanted to do it. Like, Nick knows me now, and he knows that I'll sit on a decision for a while. Like, I'll stew on it and think about it. Like, I'm not a very quick decision maker with bigger sort of things.
Complete opposite to me.
Yeah. But if I make the decision, I see it through. So it's like, I might sit on podcast idea, right? I wanted to do a podcast. I've been thinking about doing one for about 18 months, and I always thought, I don't know. And then, I thought about it, and then there just come a point in time, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. But once I make that call that it's going to happen, I'm not going to half-ass it. I'm going to put everything into it and just do it. And it was the same with the diploma and stuff. Like, I'd always thought, I'd sat on it for a little bit and like, am I going to do it? Going to do it. Because my way of thinking was that if I was going to just half-ass it and be like, I'll just, breeze it in and I'll just jump in and do it. Fuck, I'd probably just quit and be like, maybe it wasn't for me.
Didn't do it properly. Yeah,
exactly. So that was my thing. And so I'd sat on it, thought about it, and then I just fucking did it. It would catch me on like a Thursday night at like 8:30. I'd be absolutely drained, covered in sicca, with my work boots on. I'd be sitting in the classroom just absolutely drained, and I'd just be sitting there like eating pizza or whatever I would get, and on the way there. And dude, I just kept saying to myself, I'm just going to finish it. Dusted it, finished it, and then just kept working.
Boom, that's the one, man. Because I don't know, man. I'm the same as you. I do snap decisions a lot quicker, but I'm always like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to go fucking as big as I can.
Yeah, that's
I hate fucking around.
Yeah, and that was like, that obviously doing that qualification allowed me to get my builder's license and everything like that. So that was a path that I went down as well.
How big is Ideal Group now? And what would you say makes your company different than other people, competitors?
So size now, we got 12 guys on site.
Nice.
Nick in the office here running the content.
Yeah.
We've got Kelly, an estimator, and we've got an administrator as well.
Sweet, bro. How do you guys separate yourselves from everyone else? What do you reckon you do better?
I feel like what we do better is actually it comes back to our culture and our guys. I don't feel like it really has anything to do with the on-site sort of stuff. I feel like there's a standard that you need to get to regardless of whoever's on there.
For sure.
It's like the mentality that I like to say, if a plumber changes a tap's a tap. You know what I mean? It's got,
standing frames is standing frames. As long as they're square and plumb, bro, you can't do it any better than fucking Joe Bloggs down the road.
Exactly. So, for me, it really just comes down to the culture that I'm creating amongst the guys that like enjoying the work and coming and rocking up and not dragging their feet, not having a massive turnover, like the staff retention and all that sort of stuff. I feel like that's what makes us different. I don't feel like it's really got anything to do with the actual work. And I feel like that's what a lot of guys, because let me rephrase this. We're in the service game, right? We're in the actual like labor component game. We're not selling like a product. Like a builder and developer, they sell a product. They sell a house. They sell, product, it's like, so they send an end product, and every product is different. But with us, our product is our culture, our guys, ourselves. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm the same as you, man. I'm just selling a service. But at the end of the day, we're not like an estimator's an estimator. You can't even be perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, how do we be different than everyone else?
Exactly.
Marketing.
And exactly. And I feel like it's like brand as well. You know what I mean? Who you're more familiar with, whether you know them or not. If you got 10 people lining up and they're all carpentry crews or all estimators, who are you going to pick? They're all going to give you exactly the same fucking thing at the end of the day. Give or take 10, 20% here and
pricing,
there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever, right? But at the same time, everyone likes to say, oh, this guy's better, so he can charge more. But at the end of the day, there's also a market that you got to adhere to. You can't just because you got a better brand, a better product, whatever it is.
You can't charge 60% more.
You can't.
Sorry,
right?
Yeah,
you literally can't. Like, it doesn't matter. So, you know, it's same goes with us. Like, we can have a better brand. I can have better guys, better uniforms. You know,
the Under Armour looks slick.
Yeah,
man.
dude, I can have all that shit, but that does not warrant me to be like, oh, I'm 100% better. Like, I can charge 10x more than this guy. Yeah, right? Because I'm going to lose work. I'm not going to fucking get anything. So,
how did you learn to price your first lot of jobs? Was it, and it's just labor only work you're doing?
Just literally gut check.
Just figure it out yourself.
That was it, man. Like, you know, everyone loves to talk about a magic formula. You know, for me, it was literally just learning along the way. Yeah, that was it.
I find people ask us all the time, oh, how much should I be charging? What should I charge? I'm like, bro, it's literally how long, like, same thing. You can't just charge $100,000 for a market rate of 20 because you won't win any work. Yeah. And I'm always like, how long will it take you? What's enough to cover your overheads? And then factor in a contingency, you know, if shit goes wrong.
That's it. Like, I know my overheads. I know what we need to get to. Yeah. And like, prime example, we're pricing like a really large house at the moment, installing all this architectural windows and doors. How do you do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't. Like, we're sitting there, we're racking our brain, we're looking at it, we're going, you can't throw a meter rate on it. You can't throw a per item rate on it because you don't know. So you're literally just going off. That's why Kelly and myself, we've got experience physically on site. Yeah. So, you know, we're able just to gut check the pricing and be like, all right, put yourself in the brain of actually trying to do it. Yeah. And let's just see, you know what I mean? Is it an hour? Is it an hour and a half? You don't fucking know. So, you know, over time, don't get me wrong, over time, you can, you know, we've got certain aspects of the jobs that we're bulletproof on, and we're like, this is what we need, this is what we can get,
and we know this is how much it's going to cost to do X.
But that's also taking time as well.
Yeah, like, for sure, man.
You know, if you
I feel like there's no magic spreadsheet to any company. Like, every company, your IP in your company is, you know, how long your one team of 3 knock up one house. Yeah. How can we do 40 of those a year at this rate? That's your IP. You know?
But there's also a market to adhere to as well. Like, and we can't. I'll give you an example. Like, if the going rate, that's what everyone loves to hear. I know, man. The going rate is this, mate. Like, the going rate is this, right? Yes, the going rate, for an example, would be standing a frame. Can it be anywhere between fucking 35 to 65, right? Depending on the builder, what it is, blah, 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 blah. So you already know that you're capped at 65. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that you're going to go out to Ipswich, like a western suburb area, and you're going to stand one for the largest builder in Australia, and they're going to give you that. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know, man.
So, you know, you also have to adhere to whatever market you're in, and finding that market as well. And you know, for us, we're able to. For our company structure anyway, we're able to be lean enough and know we've got diversity of team in that to step in and out of different markets and know what we can and can't do. So
what market are you guys predominantly in? Like, are you in the group home stuff?
Primarily our sort of bread and butter is the multi-residential space.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So like single-story townhouses, double stories as well?
doubles. Okay. Yeah, doubles, triples. Yeah, quads, same thing. You know what I mean? Larger sort of scale stuff. Yeah. Comes down to, you know, capacity. Yeah. Know-how. You know, we've done a lot.
Yeah, man.
You know, my team's done a lot too.
And you said about that architectural one. Is that a lane you guys are trying to move more into?
So we just have that as well. So we've got a handful of builders in Brizzy that we do architectural homes for as well. Man. They run their own carpentry crews as well. Yeah. But they like to contract out the bulk of it.
Yeah, man.
To guys like myself. Yeah, safer bet, you know what I mean? And that's marketable as well. Yeah. You know, we charge a slightly higher rate, obviously. But the benefit to them is that they get the insurance and all that sort of stuff when we do it. So
have you gone out kind of looking for that? Does that just naturally come?
Well, I come from that. So we originally were doing that. Okay. And then we transitioned into the multi-res space. And then it just so happened that other side has just sort of eventuated over time. So, yeah.
Have you noticed like a huge sort of increase in leads since you guys have been pushing hard on socials? Like, do you notice sort of a direct shit, man?
Probably not really with like leads as in regards to
actual building work.
Yeah, actual building work. It's more employees.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, like
that's a good problem to solve.
Yeah,
finding
like
good dudes.
you know, our probably biggest generator is just staff through that. Like, you know, guys seeing it and wanting to hear about it and all that sort of stuff. So,
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
What's your guys' sort of forward pipeline at any one time in regards to workload?
Usually like 6 months, 7
That's
months.
good.
Yeah. So like at the moment we're literally forecasting at the moment in like April next year. Yeah.
Brizzy's super busy at the moment, eh? Incredible.
Yeah, like we're already talking about that we need more people and you know stuff like that. So we're sort of forecasting at the moment to get to for about April mid next year.
Man.
You know, we got one project that'll probably run until October next year at the moment.
Yeah.
So
yeah, sweet. Yeah. And is that just like how many different sort of clients would you have at one time? Do you just work for one sort of big builder, or is it 2 or 3 separate clients?
Any one time it can range between like 5 to 10.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Not too many. Like, you know, there's probably 2 or 3 large ones, and then all the other ones are just dribs and drabs.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, but are those the ones? If you see if they're 1 or 2, that's where you'll put extra sort of margins on, and then your sort of steady flow of work. You're probably
So my rule of thumb is, you know, you're not always going to make 30%.
Nah, man.
And you're not always going to make 40%. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you know your numbers or you're the best this and that.
Yeah.
I know some of the best developers in Brizzy, and even they don't even make that. You know what I mean? So for us, as long as, you know, we have a style of work, this is what I was talking about stepping in markets.
Yeah.
We can facilitate a market that is low margin but consistent.
Yeah, volume.
That then allows us to then step out with confidence and pick up these other jobs where the margins are bigger and higher, better and higher.
Yeah.
But if I was always just chasing that better and higher margin, I don't think it would be ups and downs constantly. So that's how how we do it anyway.
I mean, you know? That's such a good business model. A guy that I worked for in my second year, same thing as you, volume built, and I had a labor only crew. They would work on 6% margins, but they built the 3rd most amount of houses in New Zealand every single year, like consistently. Yeah. And then you see all these other guys up and down,
up and down. You're stressing about having guys, this, that, and the other.
And then you literally can't build a staff or a team culture because you're currently hiring guys, cutting guys. It's horrible.
Yeah. So that's also been something that I've learned along the way.
How do you manage like a team structure within your company, like foremen, site supervisors, teams?
So currently at the moment we run 3 teams. Yeah. Each team has a leading hand. Yeah. And then underneath that leading hand, there's also like another qualified. Yeah, cool. And then underneath those 2, there's usually either another qualified and then just, you know, 3-4 apprentices underneath them. So that's our structure. And, you know, I feel like the systems and processes that we've built now and the culture that we've built now, we could probably double our team with the similar sort of processes without it really causing too much of a headache. Because all the stuff that we've implemented with reports and stuff, like the communication is minimal.
Do you guys use an app, or what software do you guys use?
So basically we just use, like, for our company on-site guys, for everyone in there, we use Crew Tracker, and then we just use WhatsApp groups for all our leading hands and that. And then we also run like a CR, like in the office, we run like a software in the office Monday. Just for like task manager and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool, man. And what do you do differently to build sort of team culture? What's like a couple plays, things that you guys try and implement here?
Basically the things that we have really, we had to go through a massive company shift. So I had to sack a lot of guys to bring in more guys. But that was inevitable. It was just, you know, we went through the period of, would have been literally 12 months ago. So it was, it's a constant thing. It was an employee market, and it wasn't an employer market. If you were trying to get guys, good luck. So I had to take what I could. And
that's tough.
So the times have changed now, and socials has been great as well for us to be able to build that up. But basically what we've just done is transparency and being straighty 180 with the guys and telling them where we're going and growth. And, you know, I've always known, even when I was an employee as well, is that you want to be part of something. Yeah. You don't just want to be part. You don't want to just be rocking up. And the construction community, in construction industry, when you become qualified as a carpenter, you go and work for a builder, and then 9 times out of 10, the natural transition is either you're just going to stay as a carpenter or you're going to be there as a supervisor.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. So, you know, I always say to the guys that we're growing something here that is going to enable guys to really come through the ranks, whether it means, you know, we're looking to step into other divisions as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, building out those other divisions as operations manager, becoming an estimator, you know, all that sort of stuff. I'm a strong believer in building within, not building without.
Yeah, not hiring without.
Yeah, exactly.
Promote within, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm bringing guys up through in the company, like Kelly, for instance.
Yeah.
I haven't hired him as as a thing. He's come through the business. So,
and having low staff turnover is a huge asset to a business as well. I think it's good.
And guys see it. And I feel like you can preach it all you want. You can preach on socials and you can preach on to them that you're building this thing and you're going to get better jobs and you're going to offer them more and blah, 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 blah. But where the real culture is built is when they see it.
Yeah, nice.
You know, the guys see me doing what I do, and they actually, I don't physically need to see them, but they just know that it's moving, that we're going in that direction. So
that's sick, man. Do the boys get around all the social media stuff? Do they love it?
Oh, yeah.
Do they have to love it, or would they not be here?
That's Nick's forte. Yeah. He has to deal with them on site, but it's they all love it to a degree. You know what I mean? Some of them are a bit. Yeah, camera whores when they love the camera too much, and then the others they want to stay off it. But for the most part, they're all good because it comes back to the culture as well. Is that they're buying into what we're doing, and 100%. They know that plays a part. Yeah, you know, and I stress to them all the time. What I do on socials is not the money maker. That's not that. I'm only able to do what I do on socials because we're in a position to do so. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I always say to them, they are my number one. They are my number one. Right? That's it. The guys on site. And keeping them happy and busy, that's my number one priority. Yeah. This is just a byproduct of what we do. For sure. Right?
But this also adds a lot of value to your business, your company, your brand.
Exactly.
Like it does heaps of things, you know? Yeah. It's going to attract the right staff that they're going to work with, and potential other builder employers are going to be like, fuck, these guys look cool, man. They're doing good shit. You know?
And they know that as well. Like, you know, so... I definitely don't hear any, you know, influencer comments when I'm on site.
I don't see a blue tick up there either, G.
I know. We're working on that one.
Yeah. Obviously, since you've been in business, 2-part question, answer it how you want. Worst fuck up you've ever made, or most amount of money you've ever been owed at one time? Oh. People love hearing the bads, bro.
All right. So I've told this one quite a few times. So when I was 20, would have been 2018, 2017. This is a pricing one. Fucking you would know all about this.
Yeah, bro, give me the bread and butter, baby.
So definitely is not, I understand there's guys out there that lose millions, but this was like, this to me at this point in my life, I had a lot of shit going on. There was a lot of stuff going on. This is literally was like millions to me. And I was building this really nice, I had my builder's license, I had a few guys. We were building this really, really nice house in Camp Hill, and it had a turntable for the car. Oh, so old mate had a fucking massive Range Rover. But where it was, the style of the driveway was it come down off the street, and then it sort of come underneath the house, and then they would hop on the turntable, the car would turn around, they'd back in.
Sounds like
so they didn't have to fuck. Yeah. So it was absolutely sick, and I knew that it was on the plans the whole time. And man, this is now when it was, because the turntable was the last thing to go in. We poured the slab early in the piece, but the actual installation didn't happen until right at the end. Yeah. And I still remember I was sitting at home at my parents' place. Oh, sorry, it might have been at my girlfriend's house or whatever. And I was sitting in there and I was like, I was getting the invoices for it, and I was looking at the bank, and I was going, it just doesn't seem fucking right.
Yeah, man.
It didn't seem
too much
right.
going out, not enough coming in. Yeah,
it didn't seem right, and I knew that I had a progress payment coming in, and I was like, just didn't seem right. I literally went back through. The whole project had been running for like 8 months. Oh. Never went back through the pricing the whole time, right? Yeah. Just gut checked the whole fucking thing, the bootstrapped like the whole way. Yeah. And man, I fucking went back through the pricing, and I literally double checked. I went back through. Fully missed the turntable. Fully missed it.
How much was it?
Like 45 grand.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of money at that time, mate.
Yeah, 45,000 plus everything else, right? plus all the other stuff, the electrical that went into it, everything. Didn't allow for anything. It was just the dollar figure was zero on the quote. But actually on the one that I sent him, supply and install. All the stuff was there. So he ended up with a fucking free turntable.
Did you hit him up about it? He didn't want to play ball?
Nah.
Or you just took it on the chin? So
this was the thing, man, and this is a pill that I had to swallow. It was like I was at a point in my career where this was probably up there with one of the better jobs that I had. He was a really good client. His wife was really good. They were, you know, and I just had to,
Because did you finish that job on a real good relationship?
Yeah, really good relationship. So it was one of those things where, you know, don't forget I was much younger than what I am now. And I spoke to Tamara at that time and she was like, listen, you're going to go to him and say, you owe me 50 grand or 60 more grand because I fucked up, or am I going to swallow it and be a man and move on? In fairness, I swallowed the pill, right, took the hit, but if it was going to send me bankrupt, I obviously probably would have done it. I probably would have gone to him and told him the truth. So I was able to get out of that unscathed, didn't make a fucking cent, but I broke even, you know, the rest is done. He's happy. Everyone's happy.
Do you think you got a referral off that job since? Do you reckon you've got something down the line? Because I'm like, if the client was
that's the thing. And I was young and dumb in business, so you know, he hung the carrot. He's well off. He's got a lot of mates. At that point in time, knowing what I know now, right now, I would have been like, wait, give me the extra 60.
Yeah.
Right? But back then, I was, you know, obviously thought I thought the worst. I was just starting out as a builder.
Yeah, man.
I was just trying to create a name for myself. He had the contacts. He was well off. It was like a $1.3 million contract, right? Ooh. So it was a massive house.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I'm going to swallow it.
Yeah.
So, and I did. And man, it was, have I got anything out of it? No. No, I got nothing. Other than a really nice house in Campbell when I drive past it, that I never do. Yeah. But when I do, I look at it and I go, hey.
Free turntable, turntable. At least let me come and use it one time.
I know how to do them now too. If I ever fucking do one again, that'll be it was that expensive. There's only like 2 companies in Australia that do them. I had to fucking I had to, but part of the thing was these guys flew up from Melbourne and they had to install it.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, it's literally, I think it's only like Sydney and Melbourne are the only places that the 2 companies that have them. Yeah.
Fuck, man. Yeah.
Learned a lot though.
I've done that, and I've always just tried to go like, trying to think of the word, but I'm always just like, do I swallow it, or I'm just thinking if I fucked up, take it on the chin because I could get something else of it down the line. And I'm like, pick your battles, pick your fights. Like,
well, at that point, I would swallow anything. You know what I mean? I was that determined at that point. If it wasn't going to send me bankrupt and I could still afford the $1,000 to pay myself a week, I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was just trying to build a name for myself. That was it. You know, I wasn't in it to make $1 million and drive a Lambo.
Yeah.
So,
but now you probably have put, you know, off that fuck up, because that money was a lot back then. You probably put real good systems and stuff now. Like
now I'm just a lot more experienced.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Time in the saddle, bro. You can't beat it.
Now I just know how to word things correctly. And like, you know, are we perfect? No. Like we miss things on pricing all the time.
Yeah.
But you know, and I'm pushing on to Kelly now as well, is how we word it is what's important.
Yeah,
you know, because you're going to miss things on a price. It doesn't, even if you get a Q, even if whoever it is, you're always going to miss things.
Yeah, man.
But it comes down to how you word it and how you cover your ass. So, because as I said, we're 6-7 months ahead. So what we're pricing now will shape the business eventually in 7 months. So if I guaranteed I'm going to miss something now.
Yeah.
But if I have it worded in a certain way, if I have a little statement, or I've literally got to the point now where there was like a 10-word statement that I had in a quote, and that saved me like 40 grand.
Yeah.
Right. It was literally just like no allowance for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Fast forward 7 months, we go to do the job. I look at it and I go, I just don't remember. And I went back to the quote. I went, boom, there it is.
Yeah, that's
Sent him an email. I said, hey, just letting you know there was no allowance for that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Boom. And we just charged them for it. It was sweet. But if I'd not put that in, they would have just assumed that it was done for, and then I would have had to have a bad argument with them and be like, oh, I didn't put it in there.
Yeah, and then you look like a dickhead.
I look like a dickhead.
Yeah.
They thought, oh, you did it, and then it fucking, So that's my biggest thing now, is just making sure to word it correctly and making sure that I've covered my ass.
How do you deal with variations, man? Those are ones that can kill people, eh?
Surprisingly pretty good. Like,
cool.
I don't really have, you know, obviously when you're a builder and you're doing houses for Mr. and Mrs. Jones, it's a little bit different, but B2B, it's usually not that hard. Like, it's not that big of a pill to swallow.
Yeah.
You know, no detriment to the builders and the developers that we work for, but a lot of the time I pick up on stuff before they do, so I know that it's coming. And I'll word my stuff accordingly. So because don't forget, right, these guys are also in the same boat. The only difference is they're not 6, they're 12 months ahead. So we'll be tendering, or they'll be tendering on their tenders, but they don't really care. They just want to get the price out there. So but for us, because we're only looking at it at 10% of the job and they're looking at 100%.
100%, for sure.
We'll always find discrepancies in the documents prior to them. And depending on who they are, depending on the relationship, we'll either bring it up to them or we'll keep it and we'll bring it up at a later date if we need to. And that later date usually revolves around money.
Very smart. Very smart. Are you looking at entertaining full contract stuff at all in the near future?
So next year we're doing a bit more full contract stuff.
Like straight into new build or?
No. So more like fit outs and stuff like that.
Cool.
Just because we're licensed to do so. But I don't think it's ever been something that I've ever steered away from. If it happened naturally and it was just something that I didn't have to go against the grain, but I've never been chasing it.
For sure.
This one that we're sort of tendering at the moment, that we're doing up at the moment, has just come from contacts and that. Is it an avenue that I'd probably eventually get to? I think so. But
I think if you always look at, if you've got 1 or 2 of those coming in naturally, you got to think, shit, could I push harder here and advertise or market directly towards that?
And I think the other question to myself as well is, do I want to push that avenue? You know what I mean? Like, can I really be bothered going? I like B2B. I like dealing with the builders and the developers. I don't miss dealing with the client that.
Man, there is so much to be, because I was in the complete opposite boat as you. I was strictly B2C, and it was dealing with emotions and Kelly on a Tuesday night at 8 p.m. crying because the walls are open, and I'm like, this is the process, man. Jib's going up tomorrow. And she's like, oh, there's a gap in the insulation. I'm like, fuck, bro, of course there is.
But when you're in this space that I'm working in now, it's like you don't answer your phone after 5. You don't answer it Saturday, Sunday. It's normal.
That's good, eh? There's an avenue for everyone, eh?
So these are all the things that I've learned along the way. But then again, I've got a lot of mates that do clients and they love it. They're like, the best clients in the world. It's sweet. So, everyone's got their own.
Everyone's got their lane, bro.
Exactly.
I think you can make a little bit more money on contract, but you're always on your phone. But that you're on your phone Saturday, Sunday, after hours. It's
and you obviously, it works for some guys and obviously some developers and stuff have done really well off it. But then again, I know a lot of developers now that are moving into the space where they'll hold stock. So that rather than having to, as you would know, where they have to build as they're building the stock, they're selling the stock as well. So then they have the clients that are got to come in and they pick selections and that. A lot of guys that I know that are in the multi-res space anyway, they'll finish the stock, build it complete, done, dusted, and then sell after that. So they don't have to deal with the client process throughout. Man. And then, they love it that way.
How do you mix between personal life and work, bro? Do you have any kind of strict non-negotiables that you live by?
No real non-negotiables. I think having kids and being married now is I've learned that, just the, work-life balance. I hate fucking saying it because everyone loves to punch it across socials, but it's like, I've found what works for me and works for my wife, and if what works now probably won't work in 6 months. But we just find out what's working. But hey, in the start, there was no fucking balance, dude.
Man.
It was just work and talk about work, think about work. Where now it's a little bit more.
I think people need to understand that more. It's literally a one-sided seesaw at the start, man. And it has to be because there's no you can't sugarcoat it.
No, and it's fucking difficult, dude. But I was lucky enough as well. We were at that point in our life, both me and Tamara, where that was just the norm. Like that was our thing. And then obviously as we both matured and we both went on, we started to realize that it didn't need to be like that. But
is she involved in the business at all?
No.
Do you find that good? A lot of people get their partners involved.
So at the start, that was definitely something that we did, as you have to. You know what I mean? She was doing the accounts. I still got photos that we archived of her sitting in there and doing them, and us stressing about a fucking $10,000 tax bill. We joke about it now, and then so that was definitely something that she did. But as we matured and the business sort of grew, we both come to mainly me, as I just said to her, I said, listen, I'm pulling her away, and I'm also pulling myself away. The business has got to function without me.
And otherwise, it's not a business.
Exactly. So, I definitely wouldn't say that I'm at a point now where it functions without me.
But that's
and we're nowhere near there. But definitely the goal is to inevitably have it in a position where it can thrive without me. I want to pull myself away further, not inject myself further. Yeah,
nice, man.
Yeah.
How are you on like hiring people? Are you good at like picking who the next best person is? Like, do you look at stuff like that?
So obviously I have a consultant that we consult with about like decisions and stuff like that. And
business coach or consultant?
Yeah, like a business coach. Yeah.
How long have you had him?
I've been with them for like 12 months now. Yeah.
Do you rate it? Have you found it good?
Personally, for me, so I lost my old man in 2021.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
He was definitely not that crash hot in business, but he was definitely the backboard for me to like throw ideas off and that.
Yeah.
So when that happened, it you know, I didn't lose my way. There was no depression or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it was just obviously I just lost that like conversation person to be like, you know,
father figure.
Yeah. Tamara loves to tell me that it was you know, it was good and bad, because obviously, you know, having his input sometimes wasn't always the best either. So, you know, where having this, doing what I'm doing now, it just allows me to, it just allows me to fucking throw ideas out to people that are in the game as well, and you know, hear some things back, and whether it's a good decision or not, and just plan, and that's really helped. Yeah,
good.
I recommend it to guys that can afford it and that want to do it and take it serious. Do it, but you also have to be in a position to do it. I wouldn't recommend doing it if you've only got yourself and an apprentice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to fucking grind it out. Like,
to get to that position.
Yeah, exactly,
for sure.
dude. You got to fucking work. You know what I mean?
What's the goal for the next 5 years on the business anyway?
I've got a plan. So basically, our goal is to have a team of about 20 on site. Have anywhere between 3 to 4 teams. And hopefully, well, I wouldn't say hopefully, we're looking next year, but we're looking to branch into plastering and roofing. Because we're starting to realize now that in the commercial space anyway, that the larger scope that you can swallow, the better it is, the more they like it. And what comes with that as well is better margins. So, you know,
dealing with less people, man, is so attractive to bigger companies.
There's a lot of, and there's only, I already know for a fact that there is only a handful of companies in Brisbane that do that, do what we're looking to do. And they do swimmingly. They do quite well.
Nice, bro.
And
Lambo
I know
on
that,
the way.
Yeah, and I know that for a fact. And I actually know some of the guys that do it. And but you also have to, you know, you have to walk before you can run. So, you know, there's no way, like I've had guys ask me now, like, oh, do you want to take the scope for this, that, and the other? I'd lose it all if I started doing that. So I know that there is a process to it, and we have to build the culture and we have to build the team to do so. So
Buzzy. Is that something you're talking with your business coach about, or is this something where you can?
No, this is always the plan.
Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
So get to 20, branch into a couple of other areas, and
branch into another, different couple of areas and stuff like that. And obviously, we'd probably start dabbling in, you know, there's obviously the personal stuff that I'm looking to do as well.
Yeah, what do you do outside work?
Oh, so
do you hit
like
the gym? What's your other interests?
Like me and like I look after myself and like go to the gym and stuff like that. But like,
dude, sorry to cut in. A Whoop's good, because I've heard that they're fucking mean.
It's hit and miss.
Shit.
Everyone, it's.
Are they worth it?
I guess, you know, if I was tight on money, I probably wouldn't. But, you know, I'm in a position where I can
get a Whoop. I've heard they're mean for tracking sleep, bro, and I always have shit.
My sleep's fucking shit anyway, because I got 2 young kids, but I don't really track it for that. I really just track it for like calories in, calories out.
Nice.
Yeah, I could go into the wooey thing of that. But I rate them. If you want one, get one, discount code in the bio. No.
Man, shit, there's a plug for Whoop.
Yeah, but anyway, so... You know, I definitely, I do that, but mainly me and my wife, not our hobbies, but, you know, buying and selling property, and, you know, we're looking to get into our own developments and stuff as well, but it's cash 22. You have to service that. You gotta be bringing in enough money to even do that. So it all has to come at once. So, you know, we both know that as well.
Nice, man. Any piece of advice to young people listening out there, apprentices, other builders, whatever?
Yeah, man. I guess some of the advice that I can really give you guys, like, it's a double thing. Apprentices, stay in the game long enough to make it worthwhile. You know what I mean? It's a career. It's not a job. You're not chasing a bag. You're chasing a career. And I feel like that this was something that I touched on with Paris about, you know, apprentices these days compared to what it was like when we were apprentice or you were an apprentice it's polar opposite. And I feel like the younger guys get a really bad rap about, they don't work as hard, they're not as committed. I don't feel like it's got anything to do with that. I feel like really what it's got to do with is the environment that they're in.
Yeah.
You know, you're an apprentice, you're 17, you're 18, you're 20, whatever it is, you're getting $600 a week. You sit down on your phone for 5 minutes at Smoker, you scroll TikTok, you see a dude trying to sell a course to earn 10 grand a week. It's the reality.
Yeah, that's a whole
Everyone
nother,
gets it, you know what I mean?
Man.
I get it as well. Like, you know, would you feel just as motivated when that's in your face all the fucking time? Probably not.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
and if I was an apprentice back then, I didn't have that. So all I was seeing was the guy rocking up in the Land Cruiser. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's completely different.
Completely different. So
but you can also remove yourself from that shit.
Exactly. Yeah. But I feel like it's obviously their mates and everyone. That's the environment. So that's why I feel like we're really getting a struggle on apprentices these days is that. But all I can say, and I punch this into the young guys that I got as well, is there's going to come a point in time in the next 5-10 years, there's going to be a shortage of tradies, right? And the price is going to go through the roof. And they're going to make more money than they could ever fucking imagine.
Yeah.
But they have to stay in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And they got to stay in it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's my one piece of advice for the young guys is, just stay in the fucking thing if it is what you want to do. If it's not, well, then it is what it is. Advice
that's absolute facts, bro. The amount of Kiwis coming over to Aussie and the amount of people that are not getting into the trades is nuts, man.
Yeah.
Like,
you know
it's
what I
good
mean?
for people to
sign up to my course and I'll teach you how to earn 10 grand in 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Guess what? You've got to sell 10 other courses to make
exactly.
money back. Yeah,
and that's a whole world on its own. But hey, my advice to builders and more mature guys that are in business and that is something that I've learned is, you know, nothing will ever trump the culture of the company.
Yeah.
And your company will only ever, you know, it will never outgrow you, the director or whoever it is. You know, if you're not improving yourself or anything like that, you can't expect the company to do so as well. And man, like just put the fucking time and the energy back into your staff.
Agree, man.
Because it will pay dividends.
Cool, man. Thanks very much for your time. Appreciate you having me, man. You're the man.
Sweet as.
Legend, bro. Cheers.
Thank you.